Let us not forget everything that happens. It's by the will of Allah. Holy will. It's time to unite and stand, and we will be the best amongst men. It's not time to be extreme or do the unthinkable, but to stand together as one. Tune into Sunnah followers, streaming every day, various platforms. Trust me, you'll find a way. Sunnah followers.
Assalamu alaikum. Please mark your calendars. Starting this Friday, March 1st, we will be replacing the 6 p.m. Eastern Aqidah class, Al-Wala Wal-Bara class, with a special program for the month of Ramadan. Please join Ustadah Laila Nasheeba for the first 7 days of Ramadan with a preparation course. Allow her to walk you every day after that with the fiqh of fasting. Don't forget, mark your calendars, and we're streaming it right here on Sunnahfollowers.
Everybody to the 27th day of Ramadan 2024. And as we can see, Ramadan is coming to an end almost. We got a couple of more days left. And I know how you're feeling. You know, the new shahadas. I'm so proud of you, Sister Sandra, Sister Bethany, Savannah. I'm giving a shout out to all my new shahadas here. Elizabeth, Sister Amira, Sister Mariam, Sister I can't pronounce your name, okay, but mashallah, to all my new shahadas who are logged in right now, you know, I don't want to mess up your names because y'all know I can mess a name up, boy, in a heartbeat, you know, but I want to, you know, send kudos out to you for making it through this month. And again, Sandra's typing on the screen exactly. She is smoke free. She wants to shout it out to the world. She said she wants to shout it out to the world that she is smoke-free. She is no longer a cigarette smoker. And she wants me to share with you that she's breathing better. She said she feels good. She said she's probably going to gain some weight because she has a desire to put something in her mouth. Oh, really? Well, okay. Well, you got a desire to put something in your mouth. Make it be a celery stalk. Go buy a bunch of celeries and just, you know, if you get that urge to want to smoke a cigarette, I'm going to tell you what we used to do with our clients, Sandra. One of my clients, boy, he thought he was my husband. You know, he was developmentally disabled, and he used to call me his wife. When we had to get him off the cigarettes because he had cease, whatever that disease is of the lungs, you know, he would come to me and say, wife, I want a cigarette. I got to put something in my mouth. And what we did was gave celery. We would have food service would bring up stalks of celery, and we would chop them, and we'd give them to him and say, here, you want to smoke? Here's a celery stick. And he'd do this. He would sit there and do that with the celery stick, and he'd start chewing on it and biting it. And so then he got to have him liking to eat celery and carrots. He likes celery and carrots, like to dip them in his Thousand Island dressing or whatever that is. So that's what you do. Do like we did our clients. You know, if you get that dessert, that urge to want to put something in your mouth, then just use a stalk of celery. You know, you might even find yourself holding it like that. Because I know that's what my client, he would sit there and hold it like this, like it was a cigarette. He would talk with us with that stalk, then he'd start biting on it, you know. So use a celery or carrots. We also did it with carrots too with him. Yeah, see, when you work for the state, when you work for the government and you working into it, the developmentally disabled, You know, they're jinns, but now lots of times you're dealing with jinn possession. But when their jinn is in sync, when their jinn is under control, you learn a lot, you know, dealing with the developmentally disabled. Yeah. So yeah, use carrots, and after Ramadan ends, buy a bunch of celery and stock up on celery and carrots and use that. Okay. And it worked with my clients. They all stopped wanting to put something in their mouth, except for the thumb suckers. I had some thumb suckers. They just started walking around sucking their thumbs all the time. But yeah, use the celery. Yeah. But alhamdulillah. And for those of you you may find yourself now, many of you, myself included, you know, it's been a long month. A lot of you may find yourself looking forward, like me. I'm looking forward to the end of Ramadan now. I love Ramadan. Ramadan is my favorite time of the year. But now I can't wait for it to end. You want to know why? So I can get back to my regular routine. Because you guys see, I'm not late for my classes like this. I oversleep. You know, and that's normal. Your body wants to get back to its regular routine. Okay. And also the thing I like about the ending of Ramadan is we get to put into action what we've learned this month. I want to see if I can maintain the same dignity that I had yesterday when I drove an hour and a half to get to my appointment to get my hair done. Y'all know I love to take care of me. I was looking forward to getting my hair done. Drove an hour and a half and couldn't get it done because there were 3 men sitting in the shop. But I handled it with dignity. When I walked in and saw him, I said, oh my God, what are these gay blades doing here? Then I said, A'udhu Billahi, I'm fasting. And I just sat there. And I waited because the lady said, it'll be 45 minutes. They're getting their nails done. I waited 45 minutes, patient. Then after the 45 minutes went by, 2 other men come in. And that's when, because I didn't know these other ladies had men. And I didn't she didn't have the divider. So I got up. I said, you know, I went into a little GERD attack. Because I was upset. When you hold stuff in, that's the bad thing too, guys, about holding stuff in. If you got anxiety like I have, I don't like to get upset. I don't like to argue. I don't like to fight. You know, I have to put up a tough exterior on the internet with you all. But when I'm off, I don't act like that. When the internet is off, you know, I don't argue. I don't fight because I can't handle pressure. I get to freaking out. So I didn't get upset, you know, but I held it in, but it came out. It made me start it. And I ended up having to break my fast because the acid started coming up out of my stomach and I had to wash it down with water. I had to break my fast. But I want to see if I can control my anxiety like I did yesterday. So I'm waiting to see how will I respond to such situations after Ramadan. Will I be able to maintain the dignity I had about being disappointed and having to do all that driving with no sleep and not get my hair done? Will I be able to handle it the same way with dignity like I did? So, you know, if you find yourself looking for the ending of Ramadan, that's normal, guys. You want your regular routine back. You want to sleep normally, regularly, you know, get back to doing your job. You got to go. A lot of you may have taken vacations from work. You want to go back to work now and you feel refreshed. You're ready to deal and tackle the unbelievers. You want to put back into use. Well better. And by the way, we'll be back to that after Ramadan. Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd's book. Make sure you guys get a copy of it. Well better. In fact, I need to upload that. I'll be uploading that video today too to put it back up there. So you should be eager. You want to get back to work now to see if you can work with the non-Muslims and still separate separate yourself from them and maintain your Muslim identity. So it's normal, that you want to, you're looking forward to Ramadan's end now. I mean, all good things come to an end. Nothing lasts forever in this world. Everything in this world is temporary. What does Allah say? The believer will never experience happiness until we cross that Sirat bridge into paradise. But we have increments or moments of contentment. Well, the moment of contentment of Ramadan is about to come to an end. So it's normal, that you waiting for it to end now. I'm waiting for it to end so I can get back to my normal routine and do these classes without being late, because I don't like being late to anything, so that's normal. But I want the kids too. Also, for the children listening here, I want to congratulate them too. I'm so proud of you. When I did my show yesterday, my Ask Sister Laila live show, the questions that all of you asked show me that most all of you who are listening to me, all of you who have been with us on this journey during this sacred month of Ramadan, I can see the growth. I can see that the fitra within you has been awakened. Because the questions that you guys asked yesterday, how many of you listened to the video when I put it up? The questions were not about marriage. Can y'all believe it? No questions about marriage. The questions were not about relationships. Instead, the questions centered around the hereafter, the grave, praying, what's going to happen on Judgment Day? How do I maintain my relationship with Allah? All of the questions that you guys asked yesterday centered around Allah. So that shows me as a daya that inshallah, I did my job helping y'all get through this month. Inshallah, I hope this be a barakah for me, because this could be the last year of my life. This could be it for me. Okay, but at least I can go out this world, inshallah, knowing I did some good. I touched some people's hearts, awakened some of y'all's fitra, and I can see you guys have grown. But now the test is going to really get hard, because you want to keep that strength. You want to keep that relationship with Allah going all year round to the next Ramadan. And you want to be able to look at yourself next Ramadan, if you're still living, and compare how you were today, how you are today to how you will be next Ramadan on this day. You should see growth. Okay. So, mashallah, I'm proud of everyone. And today, what I'm going to do for this class is something that I speak about every Ramadan. There's a surah in the Quran, Al-Hujurat, and my cousin Mukhtar did a whole tafsir of that surah for you guys last year. Every Ramadan, during the last days of it, I like to speak about at least a couple of verses from that surah. Because Surah Al-Hujurat, this is a surah that Allah sent down to us, teaching us how to live together as Muslims, united, how to get along as brothers and sisters in faith, how to set aside our racial differences, our tribal differences, the differences of the colors of the skin, and burn up those flags and all of that. We talked about that too. Those flags. We don't have flags in Islam. The only flag in Islam is La ilaha illallah. That's the flag. That's the standard of Islam. Surah Hujurat is a great surah for us to ponder during these last days of Ramadan, because Allah is telling us how to get along with each other. And today what I want to do is focus on two surahs. So again, you're going to get the reward of the Quran today too. because I'm going to focus on 2 verses of Surah Hujurat that I want all Muslims to keep in mind. Remember, the night of decree is the night where Allah shares knowledge with the angels of what he's going to do until from now until next Ramadan. One of the things I want all of you Muslims to walk away from my classes having gained knowledge of is this. Whenever a person comes to you with information, bad information, or any information, verify it. We need to verify information when it's brought to us about this religion, especially because most Muslims today do not understand what La ilaha illallah means. The Muslims today, the majority of us are so far away from the traditional Islam that it's not funny. That's why Allah is sending all these earthquakes and punishments and war and stuff to us. Okay? You have to verify information. People come to you and tell you that something is haram. They have to give you the clear evidence. The clear evidence is a verse, from the Quran that clearly says that the thing is haram, or a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that clearly says that the thing is haram. If they don't do that, then you just smile and walk away from them, because most things in life are lawful. Okay? And when people come to you with bad things to say about other Muslims, don't take them upon their word. Verify the information. They come to you calling that Muslim over there a kafir. That's a strong term. We never refer to another Muslim as being a kafir, but they're calling other Muslims kafir. Or they're telling you to stay away from that sister over there because, she's a bad person. Verify it. Is she really bad? Is that person really a kafir? What did that person do to make them a kafir? What did that person do to make them bad? Let me Google that person. Let me see if that person committed some crime that I'm not aware of. That's the only thing Google's good for. Google cannot help you with Islam. If you use Google to try to learn about the religion, you're lost. But there's good in everything. The good in Google is any information about a person, be it criminal cases or anything else, is on the internet. So you can Google and see, is this person really a bad person? Let me put their name in Google and see what pops up. Verify the information that people bring to you before you go around harming others. That's what I'm going to speak about today. And let me put my PowerPoint up on the screen. And I got it here. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, by the way, the people on Twitch, can you see now? Hold on, this opens my thing up so I can see now. Can y'all see me now, Twitch? That usually, when that happens, and D-Live, let me do D-Live too. When that happens where y'all can't see the type, this usually trigger it. Well, let me do Trovo too. There's Trovo. Trovo, D-Live, Twitch. Inshallah, y'all can see me. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And for the children, please put me on the big screen TV for the kids, because this is important for them so they can really get the juice of the PowerPoint. And for the adults, please take screenshots with your cell phone of the meaning of these 2 verses I'm getting ready to go over, because they will be of great benefit to us through the rest of this year. Okay, help us put to action what we learned, for the rest of this year. Yeah. Okay, hold on, there we go. Okay, let me share this. Okay. All right. Now, inshallah, you guys will be able to see me. Let me put the PowerPoint up for the people here in Zoom first. Okay. Oh, did I share to y'all? Can y'all see on Zoom? Because I don't know what I just clicked. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, good. MashaAllah. And now for the people on YouTube and everywhere else, here we go. Twitch, I'm coming in. Y'all should be able to see me in a minute. Twitch, can y'all see too? Okay, good. You got it, brother? The person there on Twitch? Okay. All right, good. Okay, here we are. Okay, now I'm going to make the screen larger, inshallah. Yeah, when that happens on Twitch, I have to hit the keyboard. That's all. And so that's yeah. If that ever happens on Twitch, just let me know, and I'll hit the keyboard like I did. Okay, inshallah, this is what I'm going to be speaking about today. The importance of verifying any information that is given to you about this religion. My new shahadas, you hear so many crazy things about Islam. A woman can't wear makeup. Who said that? Did Allah say that, or did man say that? Did the Prophet Muhammad say that, or did a man say that? Did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wives wear makeup? Yes, they did. Anybody that tell you that they didn't is a liar. Anybody that says that the Prophet's wives didn't wear makeup, they don't know nothing about the Prophet's wives. They don't know nothing about women. They don't know nothing about the lawful and the unlawful either. So verify information that is given to you about this religion, because most things in Islam are lawful, not haram. And when people come to you speaking badly about other Muslims, verify that what they say is true, because a lot of it is just slander due to jealousy, slander due to the fact that the person saying the bad thing is one of the Ruwaybida. Okay, so let's get started. And this is the verse of Surah Hujurat that I want to speak about. Allah says, and the interpretation of the meaning, O you who believe. The simple fact that Allah is saying, O you who believe, that means women, men, and children, all Muslims, regardless as to what your gender is. O you who believe, if an unrighteous person comes to you with information, you should verify it, or else you may end up causing harm upon a people out of ignorance. And then you'll end up regretting what you've done or what you've said. Look at that verse. How many of us fall into that category of posting up stuff on Facebook? We do it all the time. We'll see somebody will send us an email with some quote or something, and we share it. We share it to our friends, and we post it up on social media. And then the sad reality is the information was not correct. The hadith was not correct. The hadith was not authentic, or the person that told you the meaning of the hadith told you wrongly. We have to verify any information that people give to us. Remember, guys, Islam is a religion of dalil. We are a people of evidence. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the lawful and the unlawful have been clearly defined by Allah. If something is haram, there will be a direct verse clearly telling you makeup is haram. There is no verse on the planet. There is no verse in the Quran that says makeup is haram. There is no authentic hadith on planet Earth that even mentions makeup as being haram. These are people who take and twist the religion around. So verify it. Like the prophet said, if it's haram, it will clearly say it. Allah will say it, or he will say it. Makeup is not haram. And like I told you, all the prophets' wives wore makeup. Women been wearing makeup since Allah made Eve. Women have worn makeup since Allah created Eve. It's good and clean. It's good and clean and lawful. Okay, so verify it. And then when people come to you speaking badly about another Muslim, you don't know this person and you don't know who they're speaking about either. You end up sharing to your group page to stay away from this sister over here because she's a deviant, she's bad, she's this. And you're slandering that sister's character. That sister can be one of the awliya of Allah. That sister can be a righteous woman who's just doing like Laila Nasheeba, trying to spread the dawah, the true Islam, trying to call you back to the Sunnah, but you done slandered her character. You have tried to destroy her reputation with others. And then 10 years later, you find out, oh my God, that sister is really a scholar. I've been slandering this sister and she's a scholar of this religion. Now you end up regretting what you've done, but it's too late. And all of it could have been avoided if you had verified the information before spreading it on to others. Let me give you the history as to what happened with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to cause Allah to send down this verse. Ibn Abbas tells us that what happened was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent al-Walid as a messenger to collect the zakat from the Muslims of the Mustalik tribe. On his way there, some people came to al-Walid and told him that that this tribe of Arabs were getting ready to make war with the Prophet. So al-Walid got scared. He said, well, I'm not going to go and get zakat from them. So he turned around and went back to Medina. And he told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the reason why I don't have the zakat is because the king refused to pay it. And the king threatened to kill me. Now, this didn't happen. He never even went to the people to get the zakat. Okay? But anyway, after he told the Prophet Muhammad this, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam got angry and he sent a group of his companions to go to that king. He said, go and get that king and bring him here. So they went out, they captured him, and they brought the man back to the Prophet. And the Prophet asked him, he said, why did you refuse to pay the zakat? Why did you try to kill the messenger that I sent to collect it? The king was in shock. He said, what? He said, I swear by Allah. He said, I never saw no messenger. Nobody ever came here to get zakat from me. He said, and I never, ever, ever threatened to do anything to you. He said, the only reason that I became afraid is because I didn't want Allah to be displeased with me. He said, I never did anything to this man. I never saw a man or any of that. So as you can see, this is why Allah sent this verse down. So when the king told the Prophet this, the Prophet didn't know who to believe. He said, well, do I believe the king or do I believe my companion? And that's when Allah sent this verse down. He says, if a person comes to you with information, verify it so you don't end up causing harm to someone and regretting it. And had Allah not sent this verse of the Quran down, the Prophet may have ordered El Harith, the king, to be killed. And he could have been guilty of killing an innocent person based on a lie that someone else told. You guys see that? This happens all the time today. We post up bad things on the internet about people we don't know. We slander and attack other Muslims' character out of jealousy, anger, fear. And we don't realize how horrific a sin this is. All right? So that's why that's what happened for Allah to send this verse down. So that verse of the Quran gives us the following rules that I want everybody to try to implement into your lives. You learn, number one, to verify any information that you receive, to make sure that the information is correct, that the information is true and accurate. Okay, you don't want to end up making accusations that are not correct. And this is why the scholars of Islam have taken great pains to verify religious information, like the hadiths. The hadiths have already been verified. We know which hadiths are authentic and we know which ones are not. This is how Allah protected and preserved the authenticity of the Sunnah. But we need to preserve the authenticity of ourselves by verifying whatever is brought to us. Does everybody understand that? This is something I want each and every one of us, old Muslims and new Muslims, to walk away from this Ramadan doing, verifying information. And then the second verse, yeah, is it time for me to break my fast? I'm sorry, wait, hold on. Yeah, wait a minute. Is it time in Cleveland? Somebody text me. But I want to verify. Verify the information. I can't see outside right now because I got my stuff.
Yes, it's time. It's time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for texting me too, brother. Okay. Y'all see how I verified that? The brother don't even live in Cleveland, so I wanted to make sure he was correct. All right. So that's the first verse from this surah that I wanted to speak about today. The second verse from this surah is this one. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and you should realize that Allah's prophet is amongst you. If he were to obey you in your affairs, you would be in trouble. But Allah has endeared faith into you. He beautified it in your hearts, and he made disbelief a sin and disobedience hateful to you. Those are the people who are rightly guided. So what is Allah speaking about in this verse? It's bad English. Well, what Allah is telling us is this. Our example in life should be none other than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever we are faced with a dilemma in our personal lives, we should look to see, how did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam handle himself in these circumstances? What did he say as to what we should do under these circumstances? Did the Prophet Muhammad say that women are supposed to be unattractive? Did the Prophet Muhammad say that women cannot wear nice clothes out the house? Did the Prophet Muhammad's wives, were they unattractive? Did they dress in shabby clothes outside the house? He's our example. Why? Because he was guided by none other than Alaihi Wasallam, didn't make no mistakes when it came to this religion. He made mistakes in regards to other worldly affairs, but not the religion. He didn't forget anything. If it's haram, you will find a hadith that says it. If you don't find a hadith saying that such a thing is haram, then who are you? The Prophet Muhammad didn't make any mistakes, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was inspired by Allah. And listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. There is none, and surely there is for you in the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an excellent example. We should be living our lives patterning ourselves after him, not after the men and women of today. We should live our lives patterning ourselves after him, following his example, not the example of Jesus, alayhi salam, not the example of Moses, alayhi salam, not the example of Abraham, alayhi salam, but the example of the Prophet Muhammad. Why? Because he completed his mission. And not only did he complete his mission, but he completed all the other prophets' missions too. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is he taught us everything we need to know about how to be successful in this world and how to reach success in the hereafter. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. On this day have I perfected your religion for you, completed my favors upon you, and chosen Islam as your religion. Islam is complete. Allah didn't make no mistakes. Allah didn't forget. Allah didn't leave anything out. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't make no mistakes in conveying the message, nor did he forget what to convey, nor did he leave anything out. And I want all of you Muslims to accept that reality, because if you accept that reality, then you wouldn't fall victim to the Ruwaybida who are on the internet right now preaching the opposite of what Allah has preached, has had the Prophet Muhammad preach. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah commands us to hold the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in high regard and to submit to him. Listen to what interpretation of the meaning. And whatever the prophet gives you, take it. Whatever he forbids you from, stay away from it. An example, this debate that so many brothers are having about the beard, whether the beard is a sunnah or whether the beard is an obligation. Where you brothers got it twisted, it's an obligation. Whatever the prophet commands you to do, do it. Whatever he tells you to stay away from, stay away from. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, shave, trim the mustache, leave the beard alone. Leave the beard alone. You brothers cannot shave your beard. I don't care what no imam said. It doesn't matter what some sheikh said. No one can overrule what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Whatever he gives you, take it. Whatever he forbids you from, stay away from it. Does everybody understand? And also in those verses, Allah mentions the benefits of sticking to the guidance of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He lets us know that nobody understands or knows this religion better than the Prophet Muhammad does. And also, Allah goes on in another verse to tell us that nobody understands this religion and practices it better than his companions. And that's why I'm always telling you, sisters, when it comes to an issue that you may not understand, we look to see what the companions said about it. What did Aisha radiallahu anha say about makeup? Oh, she talked about it. What did she say about it? What did the companions say about makeup? Did they say it's haram? No. So who are these people today telling you that? What did Aisha say about how a woman should dress when she leaves the house? Did she say that women should be slovenly? That women should not be attractive in their clothing? That they should wear unattractive clothing? No, Aisha didn't say that, nor did she do that. She wore attractive clothing. Okay? Outside the house. Does Allah tell women when we go to the mosque to wear the ugliest clothes we got? No, Allah is clear. He says, oh, you who believe, that means women and men, wear your beautiful clothing to the mosque. So, when we stick to what Allah says and what the Prophet says, you'll find out, guys, Islam is not an ugly religion. Islam is not a hard religion. It's just that you have to be careful who you take your knowledge from. You have to be careful that you're not taking knowledge from somebody who should have been verified. Does everybody understand? As Allah says, in the interpretation, the meaning, if the truth had been in accordance with man's desires, the heavens and the earth and whoever is in them would have been corrupted. What does that mean? What Allah is saying here is, if what's good and bad was based on what man thinks is good, what man thinks is bad, then the heavens and earth would be corrupted, because we all have our own likes. We all have our own dislikes. Man wants you to be ugly and slovenly. Man wants you to go to the mosque in pajamas looking trifling. Man wants you to walk around like a cyclops, covering your face, not wearing makeup or jewelry. That's not Allah. That's man, sisters. Verify any information that people bring to you about this religion. If it's not backed up with clear proof from the Quran or clear hadith that addresses that thing, saying it is haram, then you look at the brother and say thank you and keep it moving. Because we were created to worship Allah, not no man. And we don't lick the pus off of anyone. Okay? And we don't prostrate to no one but Allah. All right? So any religious action, I want to talk about that too. There's a lot of Muslims out there who do actions of worship and they claim it's going to bring them close to Allah, but there's no evidence. For example, how many of you, when you supplicate, you blow in your hands and wipe over your face? Did our Prophet Muhammad teach us that? Or is that something that your forefather taught you? When it comes to any act of worship, it has to be verified too. There must be a clear verse, a clear hadith that says the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did it. If there is no verse that says the Prophet did it, then we reject it. Does everybody understand that? If somebody tells you that after you pray, you should make dua and blow in your hands and rub over your face, where's the evidence? The Prophet Muhammad didn't do that, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If someone tells you that you should stand up and twirl around in a circle because it's going to bring you closer to Allah, oh really? Where's the evidence? Where's the hadith? Remember, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, whoever introduces in the religion of ours something that is not a part of it, it must be rejected. The Muslims come to you. They're going to come to you and tell you, oh, we're supposed to celebrate the Prophet Muhammad's birthday, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Really? Where's the evidence? Did the companions do that? No one loved the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam more than his companions. Did the companions celebrate his birthday? No, they did not. Whoever introduces in this religion something that's not a part of it, it must be rejected. Also, they're going to come to you later on in the year and tell you that we're supposed to celebrate the day that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went on his night journey. First of all, you don't even know what day that happened. Secondly, did the companions do that? Again, whoever introduces in the religion of ours something that was not a part of it, it must be rejected. I want y'all to keep these two verses in your mind as we go through this upcoming year when Ramadan ends. Okay? And also in these two verses, Allah tells the true believers that those who believe in him, we are protected from the sin of disbelief. Why? Because the simple fact that we believe in Allah shows that we hate the idea of not believing in him. We hate the idea of not being with him. We hate the idea of not being one of his. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. There are three qualities. If a person have these three qualities, only then will that person taste the sweetness of faith. And the first is that you love for the sake of Allah. The second quality is that you hate for the sake of Allah. And the third quality is that you hate the idea of ever not being a Muslim. You hate the idea of the things you used to do before Islam. A lot of you sisters on Facebook, I look on your Facebook page, you got pictures of yourself before you became a Muslim. You got pictures of yourself on your Facebook page without a hijab on. You should be ashamed of the way you dressed before Islam. You should be ashamed of the fact that you walked around showing your hair and body to the world. The fact that you, sister, still have those pictures on your Facebook pages, that shows that you don't have this quality of faith yet. You have to hate the idea of not being a Muslim. The fact that you still showing off how you look without your hijab and stuff on shows that you still are harboring a desire for that lifestyle in your heart. And what does it mean to love for the sake of Allah? To love for the sake of Allah means instead of allowing your jealousy to get in the way of your relationship with other Muslims, you should look to see the good in other Muslims. Look and see the things about that person that Allah loves and overlook the things that you don't like, the things that make you jealous. What does it mean to hate for the sake of Allah? That means that I hate the fact that this person smokes cigarettes because Allah hates smoking cigarettes. It's not personal, it's business. I don't hate the person, but I hate the person's actions. So until we master those three characteristics, we'll never be a true believer. And this is something that we all need to work on for this year coming up after Ramadan. Because like I told you, Ramadan marks the beginning of the new year, because this is when Allah sends down the decree of what's going to happen. So we need to work on developing these three characteristics, and I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to help you with that because we will go back to diluting Wella wa Better. That's our 6 o'clock series from the book written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. We'll go back to that after Ramadan. So we're going to work on developing these three qualities. Okay. Also, listen to this verse. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, say, O Muhammad, if you love Allah, then follow me, and Allah will love you. Again, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our guide. We pray the way he prayed. We dress the way he dressed. If you a man, we do the things that he told us to do. We handle our problems, our trials in life the way he taught us. The Prophet Muhammad taught us how to deal with anxiety. He taught us how to deal with depression. He taught us how to deal with a bad marriage. He taught us how to deal with a good marriage. He taught us how to deal with non-Muslims at work, non-Muslims that we come in contact with. He taught us how to live amongst the non-believers. So again, follow him. We should make him our guide from this moment until the next Ramadan. Okay? So thus, guys, those two verses of Surah Hujurat bring a lot of lessons for us to live by. And that's why every Ramadan I like to speak about those verses during the last few days. Because we got to put this into action. We have to remember that when someone comes to us with information about this religion, or if someone comes to us with something bad about another person, verify the information before acting upon it or sharing it with others. Also, the true believer makes the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam his example in life and obeys him in what he commanded and stays away from what he told us to stay away from. And also, we have to realize that until we can accept that no one else understands or knows this religion better than him, we'll never be a true believer. Until we accept the fact that no one understands this religion better than his companions, we'll never be a true believer because they were believers. And finally, we learn from these two verses that the believer trusts and accepts everything that Allah and his prophet says without question. Stop asking why so much. And instead, ask how. That's the thing that I always emphasize with the kids here at Sunnah Followers. Don't ask why. Ask how. So this is what I wanted to leave you guys with tonight, on this 27th day of Ramadan fasting. And as y'all can see, we're almost at the end. Most likely the Eid will probably be on Wednesday, because as you all know, the solar eclipse is on Monday, so you can forget about seeing a crescent on Monday. How are you going to see a crescent when there's a solar eclipse? Hello. So that should tell you we're going to end up probably doing a 30-day fast. We'll probably be doing a 30-day fast this year instead of a 29-day fast. All right. I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha